Okay. All right, guys, thanks for joining the meeting today. We're, as promised, we're going to go over the Rei Estimator Pro. So all of the Cell 911 team is going to get a subscription level to the Rehab Estimator Pro. And what I like about the software that none of the other softwares do is it keeps it super, super simple. So even if you guys are brand new to the business, this allows us to go in and actually be able to use something that's really user compliant. It's pretty easy. And what I like about this software is we're working with a developer that owns this software, and we're able to bounce ideas back and forth, and he's done a great job. They've done a great job on this, so I've been really impressed. There's been a lot of software programs that I went through. Most of them are pretty clumpy, if that's such a word, but anyways, it's getting around is very difficult, whether you're on your cell phone or whatever. So we're still going to be doing our inspections. That's going digital starting in the next 2 weeks. We actually have somebody that's helping us out with an inspection software, so you guys will be able to take pictures, and you guys will be able to do it right on your tablet. But then this would be more or less you guys coming back out of the field and kind of going through the process. For right now, when we get this a little bit more streamlined, we're going to get you guys to actually do offers at the kitchen table. Once you guys start learning the software, once you start learning the inspections, you'll be physically making a phone call to whoever the manager of your department is, who handles the acquisition. The acquisition managers who you're going to get a hold of. For right now, that's Gino and myself. But going further in, there's going to be an acquisition manager. So whoever that is, that's exactly who you will be calling. So I wanted to go over this. So I'm logged in right now. What's nice about this one, it kind of leaves you logged in. Unless you log out, it leaves you logged in. And you could just kind of have it sitting out there. So what we're going to do is, for demonstration purposes, I want to just put it out there for you. Let's try a property. Let's go with a property. Let me ask, maybe you have an example property that was in okay condition that you just maybe recently went through, or went through in the last, I don't know, 6 months, that maybe might have been a good opportunity, but it was listed too high. Do you have an example of a property that might work, that you could remember an address, or I'm just looking for an example address to use.
I don't know.
That's fine. It's fine. I didn't know if you had one off the top of your head. How about you, Gino? Do you got an address that we can put in here?
Could we, did you want to try the current listing I have in Burlington that I originally went for a cell 911?
Yep, exactly. So let's put that one in. Do you have the address?
Yes, it's 430 North Browns Lake Drive.
So what I did is I just went.
Burlington. That's Burlington.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
What I did is I went into. I spell that right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. What I did is I just went into add property. I went into add property, which was on the right-hand side. Sorry, I did that a little fast. So I went into add properties, asking now to create a new property. So that's what we're doing, is we're putting the address in here. And then we're doing Burlington, and then obviously it's Wisconsin. We're not going to necessarily put in the owner name just right now, but you guys will start putting this information in. The more information you put in it, the better it gets. So we're going to just go ahead and we're going to find this prop. Okay, so here's what it did. It pulls in Zillow comps, okay? Now, Zillow comps are also MLS comps, are also tax comps. We can argue it all day long, but for the sake of clarity, what this software does and what Zillow does not do is this software actually looks at it from a kind of a realtor standpoint. So it takes the comps that Zillow is producing, which are on MLS, tax keys, so there's a lot of sales that happen, back and forth as far as like a quick deed and stuff like that. And so all those are getting recorded, but you may not see them on MLS. So what we're doing is we're pulling up all the comps in the area. And it's going to pull up the subject property. So it's pulling up it from the tax keys and from Zillow, all the information there. So as you can see, this one was built in 1962. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,600 square feet. Does that look about right, Gino?
That looks exactly right.
Okay. Then you go here and you look at it from, okay, so here's houses that are nearby. Anything in a yellow is basically okay. You're actually looking for, yellows, and the reds kind of get further away. So the more yellows, the better. So the more yellows, it's more advantageous to what is more like the comp. So if you look here and you're looking at these addresses right here, you have this one on is at Tote Road, and it's built in 1954. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. So you can see it's yellow. It's not red, but it's still 3 bedrooms. You still have 1 bath, and the square footage is very similar, very similar. So that's important. So you have 1595 versus 1605. That's pretty darn close. The problem here is because it is a very rural area. This is about 1.3 miles, so that's a little difficult. But you're going to pull, just for the sake of this is a rural property, so it might be a little bit more work. You may have to look at more comps, but in generalization, this is to help you kind of give an idea what it's worth. You're still going to want to go in and do your regular CMA, but this is for just another vision. So what'll happen is you guys will put in your comps for us what you did on MLS, and then what your ARV is on here, your after repair value. So you'll look from what you got on your MLS CMA, and then you'll look on here and you'll see what you got for as far as your real REI estimator. So here, and then you look at the comps, you see that this one was just sold recently in May. And it scores it. The score, the higher, the scores it is as far as the bigger the number, the more closer it is to what it is. Here you have, right here, you have, Hillcrest, you have Clover. Again, these are all about the same era of time that it was built. A little bit similar to, bedrooms, not exact. Again, this is a really hard one to comp. 912 square feet. For some reason, this is coming up yellow. I don't necessarily care for this one, so I would take this one out. And it's a lot newer of a house, and it's 2.72. So I would not have this as a comp. This would not be a good comp. Even though it highlighted it, I'm just like, not so much. So I'm going to kind of look through here to see if there's any other, similar comps. I mean, you have a couple that are similar, like right here. This one, even though I said this is, not as new as this one from 1962, you have other things that are going on. You have a 3-bedroom, 1.5, which is considered a 3-bedroom 2. 1831. Here, the subject 1605, and you have 1.8 miles, and this one sold, 1024. So we're gonna use this one. Again, it's it's not 100% foolproof, but it will dial it down. It will make things look a little bit better. So you have that. Then also you're going to go here and you're going to start looking at some of the other comps. So here you have, this house was built in 1901. I would not comp that unless we absolutely had to, and it's 4.152 miles. No, thank you. Here's like 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. square footage is off again. So you really have, you really have a lot of these that are off. So then you have some that are not any comps, like this one here on Bel Air Drive. But for the sake of a comp, it's 1872. It's 4 bedrooms, a little bit more. But for the sake of a comp, because it's a 1.34 miles away, we're going to use this one. Again, this is where, you guys have to use you really have to hone down your CMAs, practice at them. Practice makes perfect on these. So right here, it goes into, okay, what is the average sold of property selected? It gives you an average of all these. So we're going to go into here. We're going to go forward, and we're going to save these. It also has a map down here if you wanted to kind of click on stuff as far as the subjects and everything. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to save that. Okay. For the sake of the ARV, it's coming up 245. It's 1605. What was your ARV, Gino, on this one? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, probably, I think it was, if I remember right, I have to look back, 225, 230.
Okay.
I look back.
So out of the sake, let's just go with 225 here. Let's edit this. We could go to edit here. We're on the right-hand side, and we're going to go to where it says ARV to use. We're going to go 225 just because of comps and where we were at. That's what we were saying things were going for. So, okay. So what we have is we built our property. Here we go. We have, the property. We have the ARV at 225, 1,600 square feet. Now we're going to this is where the repairs come in. Okay. So what happens is here you're looking at the exterior, and it's not to get confused. It's really segmented, and it goes, once you get the use of the software, it goes really, really fast. You can usually get this going. You can usually get a good comp, really good comps on this particular program, and you grab your MLS comps and you can do your estimator. You should, within 15 minutes, you should have a basic idea of what we should be offering for the property, versus going through tedious repair bills and everything else like that. So let's talk about this a little bit. So Gino, I'm going to go through a couple questions with you. With the roof, and if it had an attached garage, if it did not, it would be under detached garage. But the tear off, how's the roof overall on this one?
The roof of the house is okay. It's the roof of the detached barn / garage that has the problem. Okay.
So the roof is okay. Tear off, replace, attach. We're okay. So we're not gonna check mark that. Okay. Now we're gonna look at the detached garage. We're gonna just say the detached garage, is we're gonna check mark that. And how much do you think it would cost? How big a big area is it? How much do you think it would cost?
It's the half of the garage that is, or the roof that's bad, I would say roughly is maybe, let's see, maybe 30 by maybe a 400 square foot area, maybe.
So is it a 3-car garage, maybe 4-car garage? Would it be
like a 2 or 3? Yeah, or you know what I mean. It's the whole back half of a pretty steep roof, pretty big roof. So maybe a little less, but it's probably 30 feet by 20 by 20, I would imagine, area.
So would it be safe to say maybe $2,500, or you think we should go a little higher?
Even a little higher, because there's actually like the joist missing and stuff. It actually needs to be framed in.
Well, right. So I mean, that would be something you would want to know in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna say 150%. Okay, which is saying it's basically a 3-car garage when you do that. We're going 100% at what it's doing is taking an average size of a 2-car garage, and it's putting it in there. So you would come in we're putting in about $3,750. And then what is the exterior as far as needing exterior painting, siding, soffits?
Window frames painted. They at least have to be painted. There's some peeling paint there.
Okay, what else?
Um, there might be a little bit of siding problems, but nothing major with that. It's mostly the ceiling paint.
Okay, so around the windows, maybe a little bit in the fascia, a little bit everything else like that.
Yeah.
It's not a full paint job. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just say we're just gonna come here and give it about a 30%. We're gonna say, okay, windows around some fascias, and then where I'm getting this is like, okay, 30% of the surface needs painting. The windows, whatever, and you might say, well, the windows don't take up 30%, right, of painting, but you're better off to overshoot this than undershoot this. And then how about windows? You know,
The windows they're pretty good. They're newer, most of them. I believe most of them, almost all of them, I believe.
okay, so we'll leave that alone. How are the gutters and downspout?
I did not see any problem with that, or he didn't let me know of any problems with that I saw.
Okay. And then the garage, the exterior garage how is that?
It's wood. You know, it's an older barn. Maybe some boards replaced, but for the most part, the size of the structure we're okay. Just maybe a fresh painting.
Yes, painting. So we'll go with 100% on the paint job. We'll put that at $1,000. Okay. If you want to add a little bit more, you could go right there. Again, this is based on surface, square footage, and what a painter around the Midwest will charge. Or actually, this is on a national scale. So it's including California, Florida, us, everything. So it's on a national scale. Does it need a door, garage door?
No, those were like the sliding barn doors. They seemed okay.
Okay.
Like
so then we'll go into, we'll leave the exterior alone of the house. We're going to go into lighting, light landscaping and cleanup. We always check mark this regardless. Unless if there's tree removals and stuff like that, then you kind of you're going to have to, if you know there's trees removals, those are going to be conversations that we need to have because those will differ. But as far as landscaping, just a regular landscaping,
Yeah, for the most part, they kept that pretty nice. He's got a lot of stuff most of it will be removed, but for the most part, landscaping, actually, it's a pretty nice lot.
Okay. How about decks? Any decks?
No, it's just patio area.
Okay. And that the concrete's okay?
Yes, it's fine.
Anything wrong with the driveway?
It's an old kind of gravel, some old cement. Yeah, the driveway is nothing, nothing not paved or anything like that. It's pretty rough. There's kind of an offshoot part.
Yeah, for the sake of argument, we'll just say $5,000 allowance on.
Okay.
Exterior doors, storms.
Those are okay.
Okay. So then we're going to go into the interior. We're always going to do interior painting, always. Okay. We're going to always do flooring and tile work, always. We're basing this off $4 a square foot. One might say, well, geez, you can get that done, for less money. Well, we have those conversations, but it always seems like no matter what we do, we're in the $350 to $4 a square as far as that's concerned. But then, so what about the kitchen?
Actually, for the most part, the kitchen's okay. The cabinets are okay. Everything's all right as far as I can remember. Yeah, it would just be into the flooring, which I'm sure we'll get into. Where you said about the flooring. Yeah, the flooring throughout the house, but you got that covered there. So that's, nothing separate in the kitchen that I can think of.
Okay, so we'll put a light, like, rehab on it. We'll just put right here, $700 for like materials, whatever cabinets we're out. Always seems like we're always doing something with the kitchen somehow. Or we could even make that lower if you want to, just like cabinet hardware, which would be about $350, right? Now,
yeah.
How are the appliances? I usually put in this regardless. Usually, appliance allowance.
Look at
The appliances, how are those?
appliance. I'm sorry, it was breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, the appliances, how do those look in the property?
Oh, those are all in good shape. Some are, believe all within a couple years. I believe most of them are like washer and dryer might be a little older, but the rest of the appliances are just a couple years old, I believe.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a allowance in here just for the sake of that. We could always, you probably would want to take pictures of the appliances as well, or we could just say 50%, whatever. We can just say we're gonna replace those. How about the bathrooms?
One of the bathrooms, the tile work was very poorly done. Worse than an average do-it-yourselfer, but even poor at that.
Okay, so we just want to plan on a new bathroom. What about the other bathroom?
That one's not so bad.
Not so bad, like as in we put paint and floor and we're good?
Like paint, floor, yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then how about the inside doors and trim work?
That's good. Pretty good, decent shape.
Okay. Framing drywall repairs?
Not that I saw, no.
Okay. Okay, let's go into the basement. Is there a basement on this one?
This one has no basement.
Okay, so 0. So as far as we know nothing. So, and then obviously here's attic insulation, all this right here. And then you go into miscellaneous mechanics. Right here it says anything to do with air conditioner, boiler, furnace.
No, that should be all good.
Okay. What I'm going to do here is I always put in a little heating and cooling system at 100%. That includes a tune-up. Usually have that looked at. How about the plumbing fixtures?
As far as I remember, there was no plumbing issues or anything that needed to be replaced. Yeah, that should be fine.
So we're not replumbing the whole entire house.
No.
What we're doing is we're plumbing the fixtures, shut off some repairs, stuff like that. So we're going to just say 100%. We're going to just say $2,500. If it goes less, great. Water heater seem fine. How's electrical?
Good. Should be all right.
How are the outlets on there?
I think they all had the GFCIs in the kitchen. Well, at least the kitchen. I shouldn't say all. I think the kitchen at least did.
All right. What we're going to do is probably just to put a budget of $400 in electrical. We should always have that. Now we're not doing any demolition, right?
No.
Dumpster rentals. How many dumpster rentals do you think we would need for the whole project?
If he would have left it depends how bad. If he would have left the garage, everything in the garage is a lot of stuff. We'd probably, I would say, safe to say 3 dumpsters if he left everything outside.
Okay, we'll go with 4, right? We know how that goes.
Yeah.
The permits, you would click on that. Final cleaning, because you always need to have that. Professional photography, the staging. Sometimes we would do that, sometimes we don't, but I'm not putting that one in this one. No asbestos removal or anything like that we know of, Gino?
No, nothing I'm aware of.
And then here it goes into more of other things. If you had to go into other miscellaneous, you could put them all in here, which is really cool. It just really goes into that aspect of it if you wanted to, or if you wanted to do line items, you can add line items. Like if there's something else that we didn't talk about in here, you can add into here, okay? So now that we have this all entered, we have all this entered right here. Exterior, interior, miscellaneous. You have all of this entered in here. So we're going to do now the next stage, which is the seller net sheet. So we're going to go right here. We're going to break it right into the seller net sheet where I'm sorry, we're going to go into offers calculator. Okay, we're going to check this all. So here's what happens. Okay, so we're given some options here. So we're saying based off 225 resale value and our profit of 20% of ARV, we take basically 225 minus 20%, and minus any other closing costs at 10%, which is commissions anywhere else, minus money 3%, which is pretty cheap, minus repairs, which is 39,000 in repairs, minus another 3% above the cost, which is taking another like 3% of miscellaneous repairs. We come in at about a cash offer about 108. Now, we know that this seller would not take 108. And there may be things that we have to go back in and strategize. We might have to get out some of the closing costs. We can move that. These are all discussions we have. But for the sake of making an offer the same day, your offer would be 108, 265. Now, you guys might be like, holy crap, that's like half of the after repair value. But let me tell you, we have to make a minimum of 20% on it, and then we're not making anything off the repairs. The repairs are just a slip that we just give to the contractor and tell them to do that price. There may be things that we can back out, like maybe there's things that we don't need to do as much, or maybe we're like, okay, we really don't need to replace the whole bathroom, we're not gunning it, so maybe we could do half. Those are all discussions, but it's like for the sake of here, we're just trying to put things out here. So we would literally, there will be a cash offer, 108, 265. That's what we would write a cash offer for. And this guy actually owes in the upper 180s. So there's no way he can sell this property for 108. But then we offer a couple different options, where we're like, well, listen, we could give you a different option. We could pay you $140,000 for your property, if you're willing to do, payments over time. So then we can offer them that, which is, payable monthly. And then it tells you the terms that we have. Again, these are all like things that you guys will be able to present. And it'll be printed on a nice PDF form, and you'll see that in a minute. And then we have the owner financing, which is no cash, minus repairs. So we don't give them any money, but we can give them exactly what they owe, basically 185, 915. But this doesn't include their interest. But this is if they owned it outright. We would have to work out something there. But ideally, what the payment would be $1032.87 for 15 years. That would be the terms there. And then what you would do is, so that kind of based on a calculator, you can go back and you could change things, say, well, geez, that sounded really high. I'm going to go here and I'm going to say for bathroom, I'm going to put that at 0.50. Okay. I'm going to change that to $2,000. I'm going to do half that bathroom, and the other ones, I'm just going to try to do what I can. I feel like if we go to the exterior, maybe, okay, so we'll leave that, but we'll look at a couple things here. Maybe the garage painting, well, that looks okay. The landscaping looks okay. The concrete driving, maybe we can get away with only doing half of it because it's more of a rural area. So that drops it down to $2,500. So these are all ways to just go back and just look at things and to make sure things are lining back up. But again, if you go back here, where it should recalculate it here. Yeah, here we go. Go back to calculator and notice, because I took those repairs out, our repairs are a little bit less. We're saying that the repairs are only $33,000. I think before they were like 36, 35, or 6. So our offer is $113,596. So we're able to get them a little bit of money because we're just adjusting numbers here. So for the sake of now, we did our comps, we did this, and we feel comfortable with everything that we have here. Then we would go ahead and we would click on what's called the PDF for seller. So we're going to go in here. We're going to do the offer repair. We're going to do the repair estimate. And you're not going to do purchase contract because we have different things for that. And I'm just going to like Mr. Seller. And we're going to do generate PDF. Let's just say, okay. So here's what would happen. This is what you guys will get. Basically, as we talked, as we have different options, there may be a fourth hybrid offer in here. That's why we have to keep the communication clear. But when somebody's looking for a cash offer, you're going to go right down here and they're going to be like, holy crap, it's 113,596. You know, this property's worth 225. Well, yes, Mr. Seller, but we have to put $33,000 in repairs. Well, I could get this done for $10,000, $15,000. And we would look at them and say, if you feel that confident that you can get that done, that's great if you got the right contractors. But we have to pull permits. We have to do everything. You know, we license and insured contractors, and we hire good contractors. If you feel that you can, you know, have somebody do this for you, then you can go ahead and you can do that. And, you know, we could offer you more money when those things are done, if they're done properly, or two, we could just put it on the market for you, you know, at that time. And that would, you know, all we're doing is giving you options. Option two would be this, like the owner financing that we talked about. It's like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you know, we would take it for this price right here. We would give you 146.09 or 146. We give you 20% down. So we would pay you over 15 years. So, you know, the payments would be, would be basically $649.29. That's how much the payments would be over time. And then we would work that out, how that would look. And then over here, you would have option three, which is seller finance. Again, we could give them $191, you know, a little bit more money for it because we're not working on any margin. That's with no cash down, and the payments would be, you know, 1060 or 1,061.62, 15 years. You know, and it tells you right here, there's no need for them to do repairs, et cetera, et cetera. And then here goes into like a nice scope of work. So it goes into somewhat detailed. So your exteriors, your interiors, you have all this work. Basically, we can hand this right over to a contractor and say, hey, this is what we want done. Can you get it done for this price? They might look at it. They might say, no, I can't, or I can't get this line item done for this. And we say, okay, that's fine, except for we need you to basically do the whole thing for the 33. So if one line item might cost you more money, one line item might cost you a little less money. So we just need you to go ahead, and we need you to, you know, take the good with the bad. If you want the project, this is what we're willing to pay you out on this particular project. And then we would go over to the scopes, and then it basically goes over to more, you know, things here. If it was in a pre-foreclosure, there's calculators that we're working on, but here it goes into like if they actually sold it, you know, on the regular market, you know, here's what's nice. And they did the repairs, right? They did the $33,909 in repairs. So they sold it for $218. They paid commissions and closing costs, all that other stuff. And then they did a rehab. Their net to seller would be $142,873. This is if they sold it on themselves. Now, granted, they may not need to do the $33,909. They might be able to sell it for a $10,000 price reduction. Remember, we said it was $225, $229. They might be able to sell it for $209 and do maybe $5,000 worth of work and just get it enough to be FHA okay. And then somebody will realize the deal they're getting. So they may not have to put those repairs in there. And the cost to seller, again, this is this net sheet. We're going to be looking at a little bit differently, but right here, this is, you know, the cost of the seller, which would be $41,467. This is like all the commissions, all the closing costs, everything else that they can count on. This is probably a little steep, you know, but this is just a generalization if they were to kind of sell it as if they went out on and sold it as a conventional listing. So that's one thing, you know, you want to take a look at. So this is one great example of like how to use the software to our advantage, so that we know when we're going in, you know, we're giving them options, we're giving them the cash offer, we're giving them owner financing offers, 2 of them, and then obviously you're going to have option 4 or 5. Either going to do a traditional listing or you're going to do the sell 911 auction. So this gives you all those aspects of different ways to approach it. Again, you guys, once you get into this, you guys are going to start learning this. You guys are going to start grasping this. I'm going to be assigning every single one of you guys one property this week. I expect it to be done by next week, Friday. That's my expectations. We're going to assign some properties, probably, you know, in, you know, the Waukesha area, I'm guessing, you know, something that's like an as-is property, and let you guys do a walkthrough. You guys could set up the showing, and then you guys could go through this whole example sheet, and you guys can do the inspection. You guys can do this, so we could start putting this together so that you guys know exactly what to do when you're going into these appointments. So it's to train you guys, you know, train you guys to do better at what you guys do and give you guys the ammunition to be experts. Again, you know, it's up to you guys to do self-learning. To, you know, I'm going to give you the tools that I can, give you the training that I can do, make sure that you guys are going back to all of my pre-recorded and Gino's pre-recorded things. There's all good content in there. Nothing is a waste of your time, I assure you. But these are just tools we're giving you to become experts in the field, so that when we're going on an appointment, we're not calling 5 minutes beforehand and asking for CMA comps or asking, well, okay, what's the ARV? Like, we need to be experts, you guys. We're not your typical realtor, we're a Pop-Tart realtor where we get a phone call and we just stop everything we do and we just go right out there. We need to come educated. So, you know, it doesn't matter. I usually, even if an appointment's an hour to an hour and a half away, I've set those up. Gino just set one up yesterday with Richie. We need to be ready. Like, when somebody gives us a price or somebody tells us what they want for the value, we can have a discussion right away on that. Well, these are where comps are. This is what things are selling for in the area. You know, and it might take 3 or 4 comps for you guys to go through to, you know, with that particular property, one in the beginning and then one after. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, we have to put work and research into every single one of these, and every one has to be done correctly. You can't go to, you cannot go to option 1, skip option 1, skip option 2, skip option 3, and automatically go in for a listing, going for the kill. That is, no one has permission to do that. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that we want to put it in an order and build it so that we become the experts, that we're giving them the cash offer. We're giving them what they asked us to come with. We are giving that to them. Will they hate us when we give them the cash offer? 90% of the time, yes. But then that's where we go, listen, I understand that, you know, you may not want a cash offer on this. I understand that you owe more than this on this. What do you think of this option? And then keep going. It's up to them to make the decision. And by steering them off and just saying automatically that they shouldn't do the cash offer is not for us to make that decision. We need to just say, listen, this particular property, we need to, you know, this is our cash offer. This is how we came up with it. You may not like the numbers, but we promised you a cash offer today. What do you think? You know, well, I can't sell it. You know, I owe more than that. Okay, I understand. So let's talk about option 2 and option 3. But let's also talk about after that, you know, give a little pause in between each and every of these and just let them make the decision. No, you know, I owe too much on it. I can't do seller financing. You know, I would have to, you know, collect the same interest as what I'm paying, et cetera, et cetera. So then you would write that down. Option 2, question mark, are we willing to take over their mortgage? Are we willing to kind of like do kind of a assume? Are we able to like assume it? Is this an option for us? We want to have those discussions, you know. Option 3, you know, obviously they would want more money. This would be like, okay, we're not paying any interest on this. So we would need to decide. Again, we're letting them make a determination. These 3 options, none of them may work for them, but we have to allow the whole presentation in this order to go through that. So we're not to go from option 0 to option 5 without going through each and every process. So I want to put it back out there for you guys to ask a couple questions.
My question is, like, what about for the agents who don't have anybody to ask, you know, regarding like all the work and items like that? Like, my husband is pretty knowledgeable, so if something came up, I can usually ask him. But what about for those who...
So you're asking, okay, so like the knowledge. So May, that's a great question, May. We need to we need to, you know, get you guys better trained at these appointments, like going out with like Gino or myself or you know, other people like even Richie, and get you out there as far as, you know, what does this looks like. So this is going to take you guys a little bit of time, but it's not going to take you guys much. I mean, you guys can look at a roof and tell whether a roof is good or bad, unless it's winter time. You can kind of say, okay, this roof's peeling, you know. So we you know, it's something that, you know, you guys, because you're part of our team, you guys are going to start learning, and you guys have to learn, because what I'd like to see is by the end of the summer, May, is you to be the expert, you know, everyone on our team to be an expert of how to look at a property. You're not to look through a contractor's eyes, but to look through basically a consultant's eyes. You know, kind of go through it, say, okay, this roof looks bad. You kind of make a determination. It's peeling. It's looking this. This is going to need a new roof, or maybe it needs something, and be like, okay, this is this. And if you have questions, you can always ask. You can always fall on, Gino or myself on any of this. So it's like, feel free to use us as a resource. And it may, it may take us just going out there, or it will take us just going out there with you guys on one-on-ones. It's just like, okay, how do we look at a property? And I want to do that more with you guys, like setting up field inspections and going through going through a house and going through this sheet with you guys,
plus Chris sending us pictures in the meantime, even on the spot, if we're, make sure we're available during the, can even instantly send us some pictures, like just get us real detailed in quite a few pictures too of the particular, I don't know what you think about that, but that would be very helpful for the time being, at least.
Exactly. And so it's to send you guys out, and being knowledgeable, to go out to actual doing properties, doing field property inspections, and I'll be, we'll help you guide. We'll try to work around some of your guys' schedules. We'll set up a couple field days as we'll go out, we'll go through a property, we'll take a look at a property, and we'll kind of look at what's going on with the property, what's going on with the roof, what's going on in gutters. We're going to do a couple of those to make you guys seem more like experts. Like, we'll go through actual physical houses. It's something we're going to have to do.
Okay.
So I'd like to do that in like groups of 3 or 4 at a time, whether it's Gino or myself, and then, give you guys this assignment to use this, and you guys can all kind of, we could do one together. We could walk through a property together. Okay, does this need a roof? Does this, by visualizing and seeing what we see, will help everyone. Again, we're not to be necessarily, contractors or experts in the rehab world. It's just basically visualizing the things that we do see, and to go through that way. So what else you guys got? Any comments, on the offer?
No, just reiterating what you said. If I can, and I'm sure you can too, just to really involve us in the process, I will be happy to go out with some appointments till the agents are comfortable. Just want to remind everyone of that. Just please let me know, if we can arrange my schedule. I'll do my absolute best to come with. No, I think this is a great program. This is really going to be a big time help to make things more efficient. But yeah, definitely take advantage and keep in contact with us, ask us questions, and really use us as a resource and to help you with the process. So.
Yeah, what we can do is, I think that's something we need to arrange in the next week here, is to actually go out in the field and try to figure out what people's schedules are. I will tell you this, and I want to be as clear as day, is we're getting on average 2 to 3 seller leads a day. We're fielding them. And I really need to know your guys' availability for some of these. Some of these are just appointments. But yeah, we're really serious about going after listings, and we've been very successful. As a company, I feel like we're going to do probably in the next, since Gino and I kind of took over the conversion for the last 2.5 weeks, so far we'll have 10 listings between the two of us. So like within 2.5 weeks, that's 10 listings. So we're looking at potentially about 20 listings a month. And that's with a very small budget of only like $4,000 a month. We're looking at doing 10 times that amount. We're looking at, our budget should be, and you guys all know this, is about $30,000 to $40,000 a month. But without, we need more support. We need to know your guys' availability, how much you guys would like to do, how many listings you guys would like to do. It's not pie in the sky. It's not like you guys have to all take on business. But we're very serious about following up. I would say right now, statistically, we're running about 1 out of 5 appointments go to a contract. I want to say 1 out of 4, but it's about 1 out of 5. I went to a contract or contact. So somebody contacts us, raises their hand, says we want to sell our house. It's 1 in 5. That's a great statistic to get some kind of contract, whether we're going to buy it or we're going to list it. And that's just the leads I'm getting right now. I also want you guys to start going out there and start creating your own leads. Keep in mind, you have us as your cash buyers, and even if you're using that to get a shoe into the door, we have a blank checkbook ready to write, and there's really no limit to how many houses we can buy right now. So I just want to put that out there. So we're going hard. Our budget's going to keep increasing, and we're looking for support. We're looking for agents, more like consultants, and we're serious about what we do. And it's if you want a game changer, this is it. I've never seen anything quite as neat as this whole program. And our new launch of the auction company that's coming up, it's the buy 911, sell 911 hybrid. I want to put that out there. I'm not trying to plug this to you guys. I'm just trying to be sincere, because honestly, Gino and I were sitting at the Contivo yesterday. We're trying to get onto the sell 911 philosophy. and we just do not have enough agents to support the leads that are coming in. As far as availability, I should say, the availability of these agents, and we're looking for help. So if it's something you're like, you want to do more of it, you want to do more of it. I mean, we're gonna have to work hard. I mean, when we give you a lead, it's there's going to be heavy accountability, and I think some of you guys have seen that before. So we're not messing around. We're spending a lot of money, but number one is I'm trying to create a culture here that it's for you guys. It's not just for me. And I hope you never thought that way. And that's what I want it to be, is the culture is you guys. It's building you guys a new lifestyle, making changes in your life. And you keep doing the same stuff as what you did last week and the month before that and the month before that. You're never going to go forward. And, I see agents that come into our company, into other companies, that want to do well, but they don't want to put the work into it. And then I see agents that want to do it, and they do the work, and they're successful at doing it. And I have both examples throughout history of realtors. And I just want to know that you guys have been chosen to be part of this team, and you guys are a select, and it's going to get busier, and we are looking for for agents to basically step up that want to change their lives. And this is a opportunity to you guys. And that's why you see my ads out there, that we're looking for, not only will we have the HomeWire 2.0, but we're looking for somebody to be on our SEAL team, where if Gino and I leave the state, we could count on our business that our leads are going to be answered the same way we would answer them. And that's what we expect. Again, I've never seen such a conglomerate of sellers come into our bucket and just love our program so much. Like literally they can't believe it in the discussions that we have. And I mean, I enjoy this so much, you guys. It's just, it's crazy. And these tools are for you, and that's what you guys have to do. So that's how I want to sound off. If you guys have anything else, you guys want to ask something, feel free. If you guys see this message is recorded and you want to reach out to Gino and myself, or either one, feel free to do that. Again, this is for you guys, not just for Gino and I. Anything else, guys? We're good?
Yes, I'm good.
Awesome. Sounds good, guys. Have a great week. Hope all is successful. Looks like we have some exciting listings coming up, and keep up the hard work. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.